important principle that you have a direct visceral experience of. And that is whatever you identified with as your character dictates what your experience is. Now, the thing is that we think that me is really a product of our past, right? But in reality, the best neuroscience tells us that memory is only 50% accurate anyway. And we're filling in all the gaps with our beliefs about what we think about our past. And so if your identity is I am anxious, or I don't deserve to speak, or I am, then that is going to be the filter through which you see the world. And this brings us back to the lesson earlier about the reticular activating system. If your reticular activating system is set to I am anxious, then you are going to see through the lens of that character and that role. And then you are going to think, feel, and act anxiously. And you have a unique kind of experience in your life that has proven to you that is malleable. And just because you think that the other one is me, it's actually not really you. The identity is malleable, and memory is malleable. And instead of having, and whenever we're looking through the lens of fight, flight, or freeze, we're always going to be looking through the lens of the past. But when we start to think about how we can be more creative, so there's in the spiritual work system that I practice in, we have a practice of cultivating something called your most secret name. And your most secret name is the kind of the name that you give yourself that is an encapsulation of your values and virtues of the future identity that you are aiming to create. And so then you say, how would, and it's secret, so I'm not going to say it, but you would say, how would such and such think, feel, and act in this situation? So you're actually creating your own role, your own identity. And that is no less true or real. In fact, it might be more true or real because it's based on your values and your choices instead of on your past wounds and traumas and assumptions and conditioning. And what you're saying is, do I want to have a conditioned personality, which is that I believe I am everything that has happened to me? Or do I want to have a creative personality, which is I believe I am who I want and choose to be? And so you can learn from this experience and play with the idea of I get to create the filter, the lens, the personality, the beliefs, the structures that gets to interact with life based on the future that I'm trying to create instead of as a repetition of the past. Now, it might incorporate some things from the past that you like and appreciate about yourself and about life, but it's really up to you. And people don't realize how up to them it is. They just think, oh, well, this is who I am. And oh, that's imagination. And that this is real. This is real because it happened to me. And that's imagination. So that's not real. But it's actually not true when you think about memory science telling us that 50% of the memory is made up anyhow. That's also imagination. So why not make up an identity that works? You're making one up anyway. Why not make one up that's actually functional and in line with your values? So I really like the analogy of the improv acting, because the same is true. If you just have a new character, because like you said, it's easier said than done. And I agree with you. But if you just have a new character, well, you haven't yet really memorized all the lines, all the feelings, all the tone. And like the old character, sure, you don't have to think about it. It's just easy and automatic, right? Someone says something and you just respond back, and it's very fluid. So that makes you think it's real, but it's not. It's just well rehearsed. And you just haven't rehearsed the new one as well, as long and as well yet. But when you rehearse, and a really good actor, as you know, they don't pretend to be happy or pretend to be sad. They actually are happy or sad, right? And they've actually changed their state. we have this ability as human beings to change our state, and and to and so and to not and not just to not just imagine, but to actually be the role, right? But that doesn't come without practice, and practicing staying in character, even if, aside from and especially when other difficult stuff happens that pushes our buttons that of the old character to respond habitually and automatically and unconsciously, right? And so a habit is anything that you've done with so much frequency, intensity, and duration that it's become easy and automatic. Well, the new role just isn't habit yet. The old role is. That doesn't make it more real. It just makes it more well practiced.